Hi, Lisa. Good to see you.
Hey Don, good morning. Good to see you.
It's a very special day today. We're here to wish our sister a very happy birthday.
I'm very excited to wish my sister Geraldine a very happy birthday today.
Yes, and as many of you know, Jerry and I, we've been having this conversation for over 25 years on why the day you were born sets your personality traits. And Jerry is a king of clubs, a two of spades, everyone's friend, and a four of diamonds. And she shares a card with George Harrison, John Lennon, Imagine, and Here Comes the Sun, and Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now. What could be better than that? But Lisa, do share some of the early memories of Jerry with the Beatles.
Well, we started when very young with the Beatles when we had their four pictures up in our downstairs. We would have John and Paul and George and Ringo on the wall. And every night I would take Paul's picture off and I'd give it a very special hug. And sometimes it made it back on the wall. Sometimes it didn't. But, you know, we all had a very strong connection to the Beatles. I was the youngest, but I still love those Beatles, but maybe not as much as Geraldine did, but I love those Beatles.
That's true, because when the picture was missing from the wall, we were like, Jerry and I were like, where is it?
My secret.
But then later on, your older sister, she took you to a concert, a very special concert. Who knew in 1974? Sure. But she was sharing her love of music with you. And tell us about that day.
It was really special. She took me to one of my first concerts. It was definitely the first outdoor concert I had ever gone to, even envisioned going to. It was in a big stadium, and it was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And
it was in Jersey City.
In Jersey City, yes. We'll give a shout out to Jersey. And halfway through the concert, Graham Nash came on the stage and he's like, Nixon resigned, and the crowd went wild. And up on top, they had lights and it lit up and it kept scrolling across. Nixon resigned, Nixon resigned. I can feel the excitement still to this day that everyone was going through in that stadium, and everyone was going crazy. And it was definitely a very monumental concert to go to with.
And and it was interesting because Nixon at the time, it said it was now time for a time of healing. And I think Jerry shared with you that was probably the earliest memory of the intersection of her love of music and politics.
Right. And it was definitely it was such a monumental time for the two of us to have that time to spend together. And then, you fast forward 30 years later, and we actually went to a semi-reunion concert at Jones Beach Theater, where we had to walk up an enormous amount of stairs and listening to music that, needless to say, disappointed us a little bit. So when we walked down all those stairs and got back into our car, we were able to play the music that we so remembered and loved.
And really again, reminisce. Yeah.
But it was a reminisce. It was a memory. And it's something that I will always hold dear to my heart, spending that time with Geraldine. It was great times. And it was
then,
all music.
Yeah. And then the third was,
my third
Who knew your love of Beethoven?
Jerry and I had gone and had taken some jazzercise classes, and it was always to Beethoven Symphony number 5, and we copied down the placards that the people had in the studio, and we copied them on big sheets in Jerry's apartment, and we put them all up over the wall and on the couches, and we would dance around her apartment to Beethoven Symphony number 5 to get in our exercise and listen to the music. It was such a fun time. I mean, those memories of music and Jerry will always be with me, always, and I loved it.
And it's fun because she married a music man. She married our brother-in-law Dave Isaacs. And it's really interesting because we looked up when Beethoven was born, and the dates, we think though that he does share that birthday with Dave Isaacs, who's a 4 of clubs and a 6 of diamonds. So it's interesting because Jerry, with her love of music and her mental accomplishment, she can learn anything. And Dave has that mental power, and he shares cards with famous musicians such as Beethoven and
Not a
Jennifer
bad company.
Lopez and Jennifer Lopez. But there's a really strong mental power and a real strong dynamic between the two of them. And learning a lot about Jerry during these past 10 months that we've been on the Clubhouse and our proof of concept. I realized how creative she is. I thought I was the creative one, but she created our logo and a lot of the content on dearwisewomen.com. But she also co-wrote. She has writing credits on I Turned Cold, These Days, Hope Lives on the Other Side of Leaving, Lonely Together. And I didn't know that because we're maybe a little humble about what we've done. And I always thought Jerry wanted to be on the radio. So we now host a radio 1 week a night, Reset for Women 360. And I said, Jerry, I got you on the radio. And she said, my goal wasn't so much to be on the radio, but to have a platform for artists, for other music that we just don't get to hear, the music that I love. So we're able to do that with Jerry and with Dave's music. So we do that. But I thought it would be fun to also look at her daughter and her granddaughters. She has Isla, who's a 2 of clubs, King of clubs, and Katie, who's an 8 of diamonds and a 5 of clubs. And she shares a very strong bond with both of her granddaughters, because as a King of clubs with Isla, she's too young yet, but there will be many a conversation between the two of them. And with Katie has that 8 of diamonds where she just always walks in the room with a smile on her face. And it's funny, the past few months, when anyone comes in and has an 8 of diamonds, we say, do you walk in with a smile on your face? And we don't know how not to. And so Katie does this, and I just looking at it, Katie's second card is the 5 of clubs, which maybe explains her powerful connection to Dave with the 4 of clubs, with her love of music, because Katie enters the home with a smile on her face and loves to play music with Dave, with her grandpa.
Her grandpa always runs right to the music.
Right to I think when she was in my home, she ran right to the piano.
Right.
So with that, we say, we love you, Jerry. Have a very happy birthday.
I'm so happy that I'm here to celebrate your birthday with you. I wish you the very, very best today and all year long, Geraldine. You certainly deserve it.
Well, you know what? We are the 3 sisters. And in our dearwisewomen.com, you are the 3rd heart. So
honored and happy to be part of my sister's journeys.
And we are happy because we are 3 hearts, always connected.
Hearts.
So we love you, Jerry.
Love you, Jerry.
Have a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Into my bones, and I don't feel no sticks and stones these days. Weak and weary, I've been weathered by the storm. I never thought I'd live to see this day. These connections have taken their toll. I'd like to forget some things that I know, but I'm learning to give up control these days. Now the pulse awake, shaking me inside, and I can feel the fever breaking at last. The tail gives way and I let go. I ride that current down the floor, hold on till the moments pass. These conditions have taken their toll. I'm not what I was, not so long ago, but stronger than ever before these days. These days I'm not afraid to fall, to climb the hill, to hit the wall. I'll be ready when the next wave comes along, yeah. Now these conditions have taken their toll. My scars have all healed, I'm finally whole, with my faith watching over my soul. These days, oh, these days.
Baby, I'm not the girl you fell in love with. A portrait I can't afford to keep. Every night I dance with a shadow I made love to, right beside you while you were asleep. I turn cold the closer you get. I meet your eyes with regret, like there's somewhere else I'd rather be. There's a burden in my soul, out of my control. When you come close, I turn cold. You gave me your devotion while I hid my emotion, and learned to cry without a sound. The truth is far more troubling than lovers just not loving. The house we built is falling down. I turn cold the closer you get. I meet your eyes with regret, like there's somewhere else cigarette. She pours another glass of wine, hoping to forget the Cabernet won't fill the hole he left, or drive away the ghostly silhouette. Lonely comes to remind her of what she lost, haunts the memory she won't let go. Lonely talks with the voices in her head. Lonely together is better than being alone. Their hearts were bound together, keeping love alive. He shared her dreams and kept her warm at night. The promise of forever was denied, left her to find a new way to survive. Lonely comes to remind her of what she lost, haunts the memory she won't let go. Lonely talks with the voices in her head. Lonely together is better than being alone. That glass of wine won't ease her pain. She feels his presence, he whispers her name. To remind her of what she lost, haunts the memory she won't let go. Lonely talks with the voices in her head. Lonely together is better. Lonely comes to remind her of what she lost, haunts the memory